Hi designers, I am Anna from V.Mora, and today we're talking about social media in today's market. A little bit about me. This is my third IG live I've done for Makers Row, and it's Makers Row, if you guys are not familiar, is a great platform for new designers to find vendors and resources. V.Mora is listed on there. And yeah, it's just a really great place. So if you are not registered for Makers Row, you should definitely do that. And they're doing these live IG events in light of Embark Live, which they'll be launching on May 6th. So I'm gonna put the information for Embark Live on the comments and pin it so that you guys can sign up for that. Hold on, let me just get the link really fast. But Embark Live is a place where you can hook up with experts. I'm one of the experts on different things. Lawyers, I know they're gonna have, I think, accountants and fashion consultants and just a plethora of information for you guys. So it's gonna be, I'm gonna just type it in here so you guys have it. www. They're taking a wait list now, so you guys can sign up to be on the wait list. Embark.live. And I'm gonna go ahead and post and then pin that. Pin. Okay. So you can sign up for their wait list. They're taking, and they'll launch this on May 6th. And V.Mora, if you guys don't already know, I'm a company that helps launch fashion designers. I do one-on-one coaching. So if you're looking to structure your company, talk about budget, costing, timeline, you need vendors, resources, you're looking to do this on your own, but you would like a professional to take you through the steps and make it a little bit easier on you. We also do production management, so we'll do the patterns, the samples, and then line you up with a manufacturer and handle the day-to-day production tasks, ordering fabrics, POs, all of that stuff. And then we also do social media and branding, so if you need help with that. So that's a little bit about V.Mora. Oh, and then I'll just put in here how you can contact us. makersrow.com/V. It's always so awkward to be typing in this while you guys are all watching me, but I don't think there's any other way to do it. So if you guys have any questions after today and you want to reach out, this is how you can reach out to V.Mora. Okay, so I'm gonna start today with, I see everyone's joining. Hi guys. Today with just social media in today's market. Obviously a lot has changed and it's changing every day. So your message should also be changing as well, because things are, every single day we're getting new information, and you know, people are getting used to this kind of new normal. So a lot of designers are wanting to know, should I be talking on social media? What should I be saying? What steps can I be taking? So today I'm gonna go over those steps and talk a little bit about your message and how you can be reaching out to your customers. So the first thing is, I wanna talk a little bit about leadership. As entrepreneurs, we have a platform, we have an audience, and it's kind of what we signed up for, is that it's our responsibility as leaders to step in front of people and to speak our voice, whatever that is. Now is not a time to kind of shy away from what's happening or ignore what's happening. There's definitely a message that you can be sending, and you want to step into your power and know that people are listening. And I know I myself, I'm looking at other brands. I'm looking for hope and inspiration. I'm seeing what they're posting, what they're launching, when they're launching, how they're launching. So you guys have the opportunity to be that, person as well. And just staying present now more than ever is really, really important. So 100% stay active on social media and put together a plan. So today I'm going to go through a little bit of what you can be doing and how you should be reconsidering your message, right? So you want to pause because obviously things have changed, and you want to collect your thoughts and think, how am I going to address what's going on? How am I going to address the current market situation? So you want to pull yourself together and write this story. So what is your message? And I have some questions if you guys want to write this down, because this is actually going to be one of your to-dos, is to put together your story and who you are and what you want to say. So some of the questions you can ask yourself are obviously who you are. Why did you start this brand? Who is your customer? What parts of your private life, if any, are you willing to share? A lot of people are buying into other people right now. They want to know who you are, why you're launching, and why they should be spending their money with you. I have someone requesting to be in the live video. And what parts, okay, also, you always want to be authentic. If you are writing something that isn't authentic, like if you're having a bad day and you're trying to be cheery, it's going to come across not authentic. Just that. So a lot of people I've seen write a message like, hey, today I'm having a hard time. I've got kids at home and this is what it looks like, and letting people into their lives and being completely honest. So make sure what you are posting, you're always authentic. What do you stand for? Ask yourself that question and write it into your branding story. And, you know, tell us a little bit about your story too, of how are you taking care of your employees? How are you taking care of your fulfillment? I know here in, I'm currently in Vermont, I'm usually in New York, but I found some local seamstresses that are out of work, and excuse me, we've been able to bring them some work because the factories are shut down. And that's part of the story of, like, people are looking for work, and if you can safely get it to them, if you can protect your employees and keep things moving forward, tell people that story. So figuring out what you want to say, how you're going to do it. People do care. I know there was a brand who in the news, they had laid off 60% of their employees, and then the next day had a huge sale. And it wasn't as receptive as they would hope, because people saw them as, yes, you had to lay off your employees, but maybe there was something else you could do. I got a letter from another brand saying, I'm the CEO. As the CEO, I'm no longer taking payroll. My top tier staff has agreed to go on 20% lower payroll, and then we are trying to keep on as many people as possible. So that's a great story. So making sure that you're open and honest, authentic, and really right from the heart. And people will be attracted to that. People are looking for that good news. They are looking for people that are staying strong and moving forward. And it's not to say we're always going to feel like that, but I myself have decided that that's going to be my attitude. And when I'm feeling down, or if I'm having a hard time, I have specific people that I will bring that to talk about, instead of releasing it to everyone I know and releasing it to my staff. Like, I decide that I'm going to be strong for my employees and strong for my clients. And if I'm having a hard time, I have specific people, my mentors, that I would go to. So figure out what your message is and how you're going to maneuver through the current situation, and really pinpointing your story, your customer, who you are, why people should be interested, how are you dealing with COVID, things like that. So writing your story. Realizing too that a lot of people right now are browsing. People, I know I am, I'm on the internet way more than I'm usually. And I am browsing, and I'm looking at more websites, and I'm looking at more designers, and I'm spending more time than I would be. Like, we can't shop on the streets right now. You can't window shop. So people are doing that virtually. So realizing, even if you're not getting that sale right away, that it's brand awareness. You're generating brand awareness by just being present on social media right now. And don't ignore what's happening for sure. You don't want to be completely blind to the situation and not speak to it. A lot of brands aren't using the words COVID-19 or the coronavirus, but they are alluding to what is happening in the market. So figuring out this balance that's going to work for you. So thinking about your story, putting together your story, you want to be communicating with your customers and banding together, and that means maybe with your competitors and maybe with other people that you wouldn't be normally reaching out to, but really working together. I know I've seen competitors working together to get masks made and keep factories open so they can be making PPE supplies, and people have really been opening up their hearts now more than ever because they do want to see everyone get through this. So speaking to that, speaking to your customers, reaching out more. Don't forget about your social media, and it's, like I said, literally the only way you can reach your customer right now. Now with stores being closed and pop-up shops and events and fashion shows, social media is the only way to be reaching your customers right now, and that's where everyone is. I have some ideas that you want to be creative. Think outside the box. As entrepreneurs, it's our job to make things figure-outable, to figure out ways of getting things done and pulling in people that you can and staying safe at the same time. But just some general ideas to keep your customer involved. Voting polls on your Instagram stories, asking the opinions of your customers. Maybe you're going to design a fall collection and you want to decide between 2 different prints, but engagement and doing these polls. You could do a Q&A where you just go online and just do a Q&A and see what comes up and what your customers want to know. But engagement, and you can host an IG event like this with another brand or with some of your customers, or try and reach out to one of your mentors and see if they would do an IG live. But there's so many ways that you can be engaging with your customers right now and staying busy and generating amazing content. So now I'm gonna get into the steps, and then at the end, we're gonna do a Q&A. On the customer side, I've been buying, not just browsing. Same, yeah, definitely. I think at first it was like everyone was a little shocked and everyone was really afraid to see what was gonna happen. And then that's kind of subsided and people are now shopping and they know that this is going to lift and we're gonna be able to go back to a normal life one day. So people are, I feel, softening that fear. So yeah, I've been shopping too. I have a product that I'm working on and just found out about Maker's Row. Amazing. Maker's Row will definitely help you. And again, it went away, so I'm gonna put it back. Embark Live is a new platform that, let me see if I can pin 2. Oh yeah, that's why, because it's only letting me pin 1 at a time. So anyways, I'll switch it up maybe. So Embark Live is a new platform that's branching out from Maker's Row. It's gonna have a lot of video content, a lot of ways that you can connect directly with experts and ask them the specific questions that you want. So it's gonna be amazing. So, okay, I am now gonna get into the steps that I want you guys to walk away with in social media. And yeah, like I said, you wanna stay present now more than ever. And it's not about the sale, yes or no, now or never. It's more so about building relationships right now. You want to build relationships with your customers, with your social media platforms, just staying present, being authentic, and building this relationship, because eventually those will equal sales. And yeah, like I said, everyone is on social media right now, so making sure you're staying present. Okay, so steps. I love steps, I love to-do lists, I love checklists, all of that. So I've generated some steps for you guys to take. Number 1 is write your branding story. We went over that again, but I'm gonna give you those questions really quickly so that if you're taking notes, you can also This live event will be available for 24 hours on the Maker's Row. But number 1, who are you? Number 2, who is your customer? Number 3, what parts of your private life, if any, are you willing to show? Number 4, what do you stand for? And number 5, what is your story right now? How are you doing your fulfillment? How are you with your employees, your seamstresses, all of that. So write your story is number 1. Number 2, make an Instagram plan of action. So sit down and write down some goals. How many times do you want to post? How many stories are you going to do? What are some story ideas? What do you want to post? There's a lot of really great platforms that you can organize all of this and have it post automatically for you. But you want to write out your strategies, your story postings, how often, what hashtags you want to implement, what platforms you're going to use, and then have a start date. That could be tomorrow, that could be Wednesday. Put together this plan and stick to it. Staying organized and having goals and having a checklist has always been something that's helped me with my own success and my own career. So just staying organized and doing that. So make your Instagram business plan to action is number 2. Number 3 is get feedback from your customers. So however that is, like I said, with the Q&A, with the Instagram Live, with whatever that looks like. You can do a group Zoom call. You can reach out to customers that have bought from you before and say, what would you like to see for my new season? How are you liking that piece? So get customer feedback is number 3. However, you can do that. If you are brand new, you don't have customers yet, you can still open this up to potential customers. Number 4, create a list of ideal partners. So influencers, other brands, maybe you're doing a brand of activewear and you want to partner with a yoga mat brand or jewelry. So make this list and actually then reach out to them. Like I said, people's hearts are really opening right now to helping each other, banding together, working on projects, doing all of this that will help everyone get through this. So put together this dream team list and then reach out to them. You can DM them, and I said this in my last talk and I got a few messages from people saying like, you're my person that I want to reach out to. So they're actually implementing it. That's great. So pick those people that you want to work with, that you want to communicate with, that you want to cross promote with, and then reach out. Number 5, creating a blog list, topic list. So that can be the 10 blogs that you want to write. Maybe that's being a mom in today's environment, or being an entrepreneur in today's environment, or having employees, or anything that comes to mind. But you want to be writing a blog. I'd like to say that we have more free time, but I'm not really finding myself like that, nor anyone. We're all working really hard. But creating a blog list and sending that to your mailing list at least twice a month. If you don't have a mailing list, generating one through friends and family, putting up a splash page, give some an IFO, irresistible free offer on your website. That could be a beauty quiz, or that could be some fun information, whatever that is, to try and generate that list. But you'll want to start writing your blogs. These will go on your website. These will go to your mailing list. You can promote them on Instagram. You can reach out to other bloggers to see if they would like to post. So those are the 5 steps that I want you guys to walk away with and implement when it comes to social media and how you're going to pivot for today's environment. I'm going to review them again and then do Q&A. So number 1, write your branding story. Number 2, make an Instagram business plan to action. Number 3, get feedback from your customers. Number 4, create a list of ideal partners. And number 5, create a list of blog topics, and then follow up and write those. So that is what I have for today's talk about social media, I wanted to open up for some Q&A. You guys can ask me anything that you want. Like I said, we work with fashion designers from start to finish. So if you don't have any specific questions about social media, I can answer other questions as well. So anyone have any questions? Let's see. The prompts have been driving me to sites. I'm shopping, receiving emails on a fairly regular basis. Yeah, so we're all seeing that. I think it helps too to be watching other brands to see they are launching, they are selling, they are even selling out. So seeing other people do it gives you the permission to do it, and then it also gives others the permission to do it. Okay. Any questions? No questions. My site views are increasing daily by a hefty percentage. People are on the browse. So yeah, there's definitely statistics and facts to follow all of these up. People are browsing. Oh, here we got some questions. What about reaching out to stylists on social media? What do you recommend as why try to put a dream team? What do you recommend as we try to put together a dream team of stylists? Think big. Think like the larger the dreams that you have, the more likely you are to have those as reality. Nothing is stopping you from reaching out to anyone. Instagram is a great way to send direct messages. If they have an agency, that's usually listed on the website or on their Instagram. But yeah, stay connected, reach out. I'm a huge advocate to like trusting your gut. If you're having a conversation with someone and it's going well, you know, trust that and know that these conversations may or may not lead to something, but it's always keeping you connected. They might not be the right person, but they could lead you to the right person. But think big, pull in people, talk about your brand. 100%. 100% I'm on board with putting together your dream team. Like I said, just trusting your instincts and going for it. Okay. How safe are suppliers from Italy and China right now? Italy is, I believe, still not shipping, or maybe they started. China has started shipping. As far as safety, you know, I'm not the expert on how long the virus can live on plastics and fabrics, but I have heard that people are letting shipments sit. But once they are getting into your fulfillment center, there's a lot of ways that people are implementing safety that way too. But yeah, I wouldn't be the expert on the safety, but I know that China has started shipping again, and I believe Italy has as well. And hi Karen, she's a past client of ours. Where are you finding inspiration for creativity in particular? You know, I've just been reading other people's blogs, what they're saying, people that I respect, people that I like hearing the message from. I said it before, I really like the good news movement. I'm very mindful of where I'm spending my time and what I'm reading, because if it's, I stay informed. I read the New York briefings every day, but as far as that, like I don't have the news running all day, every day. A lot of it is just repeating the same information. And I'm trying not to go to fear and to be looking for all the conspiracy theories and going into that hole. So I'm very mindful of, this is what I'm choosing to read right now. This is what I'm choosing to spend my time on, and is that what I want? Because you can very easily slip into, you know, wherever. So, you know, we all know you can go wherever. But bringing it back and saying, I am choosing to let this in. I am choosing to read this. So my inspiration usually just comes from within, like doing self-care and spending time reading books and staying active. And that's always what helps me feel the most creative, is when I'm taking care of myself and eating healthy food and doing all those things, because it keeps me feeling good. And if I'm feeling good, I have the space to be creative. So that's not very specific in like what I'm looking at and what I'm reading, but I know that self-care for me is number one when it comes to being as productive and as creative as possible. Where do you prefer for most reliable post? For Instagram, I knew I'd get this question, so I took a list. This is for Instagram, where you can use it for organization and pre-posting. There's a place called Plan, Plann. Use it if you want super simple, easy to use, affordable planning tool for Instagram that gives you creative control over the visual look and feel. There's Unum, UNUM. Use this if you want something that allows you to be a bit more creative and experimental, and you don't mind a bit more of a learning curve. And then Later, it's just spelled like it is, Later. Use this if you want a powerful social media scheduling tool for staying super organized and keeping your current visuals consistent. And then there's Preview, which is nice. It also has a hashtag finder. So Plan, Unum, Later, and Preview are what we have suggested for the automatic posting. How do you feel about combining or separating professional and personal blogs? I personally am very open with my private life and my business life. That is where that's where I feel most comfortable, right? Like, I don't want to have one hat on when I'm doing business and one hat on when I'm doing personal. Obviously, the V.Mora Instagram versus my personal Instagram is different. Like, I'll have different posts. I think people care more about business things on the V.Mora versus my personal. But I'll post the same post on both things that I think would be relevant. So yeah, I am an open book. I think my personal life has everything to do with why I'm an entrepreneur, and I've had the amount of success that I've had in the industry. So I am open with combining the two. Even on my website, I had a personal experience where I did this like massive bike tour, and I learned a lot from that I applied to business. It was like 500 miles, and about taking it a day at a time and continuing to work through it. And there's a lot of things that applied to business, so I posted that on the website. So yeah, I'm cool with it, if that's my opinion of it. What's your recommendation for sharing info about my personal life? I see a lot of people sharing a lot of information about their daily life. Yeah, so again, with this mindset that it's the we and not the me, and the us and not the I, like we're all in this together. And I think that being open with your life and being open with what you're doing and being open with what quarantine looks like for you, if you're a mom or if you're home by yourself, or whatever that looks like, opening that up, people will relate to that. It's less the perfect life with the perfect kids and the perfect everything, and that image that people can portray on social media doesn't resonate as strongly as someone that's being authentic. That perfect image tends to intimidate people. Yes, they want that life. They want to be like you. They want to aspire to have a life like that. But I find it intimidating, and I'd rather see someone be super authentic in themselves. So that would be my opinion. Can you talk about the algorithm? It seems to make it so difficult to expand. Yeah, the thing with Instagram is you are using someone else's platform, and that algorithm, you can figure it out and figure out the best practices, and then they can switch it again. So it's not ideal, but it's something that you do have to deal with to be on Instagram. But that's why I always say, make sure that you have your own website, you're selling on your own website, you have your own platforms independent of Instagram and independent of Etsy and anywhere else that you can sell. You want to be in control. If something, isn't working the way it used to on that one platform, you have this website where you're selling. So, and where you have your blogs and where you have content, make sure that that's always up to date, because you're not in control of the algorithm on Instagram. But yeah, the best thing with the algorithm is to just try out different things, record how many reactions, how many likes, how many views, and see what works. The automatic posts tend to not be as high in the thread, so maybe doing a combination of where you post on your own and then you also use the automation, but just figuring out ways that work for you and tracking the data as best that you can. The great thing is that we have so many more ways to track data than we used to. We can see clicks, we can see where our customers came from on our websites. So back in the day, you would just post something or print something in a magazine, and then it was just like a Hail Mary, maybe someone will see it and reach out, but you never really knew. It wasn't as traceable. So that is a benefit of the technology that we have now, even though the algorithms aren't always in our favor. I'm a stylist, link with me. Nina Verlas, Verklas, is a stylist. She wants you to link with her. So there you go. You already have your first connection. Can you talk about, oh, we got that one. I don't pattern make, but I do sew and design apparel. Top tips for outsourcing flat pattern making. You have to find a good pattern maker. If it doesn't fit, it doesn't sell. So making sure that your pattern maker has tons and tons of experience. At V.Mora, our pattern maker has been, years and years. So we know when we make a pattern, that first fitting is relatively close. We make a second fitting, we're good to go. So always do a fitting. If you're working with a new pattern maker, do a prototype, do a muslin, see how that works. And if you're doing your own sewing off of those patterns, make sure you're not changing anything, because if you're changing the patterns, then that means there's a disconnect with your pattern maker. But yeah, the pattern making is the one place where I do not recommend trying to cut budget or cut corners, because you get what you pay for. And if you're working with, say, an intern or someone that doesn't have that much experience, it's gonna affect everything, because it has to fit and it has to look good. Especially if you're sewing, if you're working with a pattern that makes sense and the side seams match and everything is good to go, it makes sewing so much easier for the samples and for production. So find a good pattern maker. Little or no probably coming out of Italy. Yeah, so Italy nothing's coming out of Italy right now. I think that might change soon, but yeah, not a lot. Why are SEOs so important? So search engine optimization, that will be connected to when people Google something, it will pull up your website based off of your SEOs. And the more content that you have, the more searchable your website is. So that's why it's important to write blogs. Thanks for that question. That ties in why writing blogs is so important. Are there specific points or things to say to someone when asking for a collaboration? Again, I always like to not tell someone they're gonna love my product, right? Like, hey, you're gonna love my product and this is why. Because I always feel like when someone comes at me like that, I'm like, well, I don't know you. You don't know me. How do you know I'm gonna love your product? So in general, I just open up a conversation, say why you want to collaborate with them, compliment them, be authentic. I feel like I've used authentic a million times in this, but it's true. But yes, try to avoid telling them why they want to collab with you and turn it more so around why you want to collab with them. And then you can obviously introduce yourself and give them what your specialty is. But yeah, that would be my pointer for that. Any tips on TikTok marketing with making videos? I am not sure. It's the new way to reach a bigger audience. There's definitely an audience on TikTok. It tends to be a younger audience. You know, it's a newer platform, so we don't have the kind of data that we have with Instagram or with Google Ads, things like that. But the more ways that you can get in front of the customer, the better. Obviously you don't want to be overwhelmed, but if TikTok feels like something that you can do and it can be fun, then I would go for it. I'm an advocate of not saying no to any way that you can sell. If someone's offering you an opportunity and there's possibility for sales, take it, because you never know which one's going to work best for you until you actually try it. Hello, hi. You're welcome. May I ask, is there a benefit to having both, or why do you mean maintain 2 accounts rather than 1? My personal, actually I have just as many followers on my personal Instagram as I do on my business. You don't have to have both, but I find it useful because a lot of, like with my coaching services, people will relate to my personal page, and the production, they'll relate to the business page. So yeah, I just have both. Again, it's like different avenues and ways for me to be creative. There's things that I post on my personal that are like sillier or funny that I wouldn't always post on my company. But yeah, you don't have to have both accounts if you don't want to. Does Makers Row have vendors that offer cut and sew services? Absolutely. Here's a pattern maker, savvyapparelstudio.com. I'm an industrial pattern maker and educated in Spain, so there's a pattern maker for you there. Is there a US version of Alibaba? Not that I know of. Make a post looking for a pattern maker. So this is always great. You guys answer each other's questions. I outsourced, I'm amazed, brilliant recommendations. It's always a good engagement. I was looking for seamstresses here in Vermont, and I asked a woman that I knew, and she was on a platform, a Facebook forum, and she put out an ad for looking for sewers, and we got like 12 people that are looking for work. So yeah, again, just networking. I ask questions all the time. I ask people for help. I'm looking for this. Do you know anyone? Because even if they don't, they might know someone that would. So communication. Oak Forge, that's such a great idea. Oh, at Oak Forge, yeah. Fashion masks will be trending in the next months. I feel that the fashion masks actually will be a bigger part of the market moving forward, not just within the next few months, but people may be wanting to wear masks for more time. We're in crowds, especially in New York. We're in crowds, we're around a ton of people, there are a ton of germs, and I think that now there's going to be heightened awareness around that. So I do think that we're going to see masks readily available from here on out. Pattern makers, do you have contacts for handbag makers? I do, and I believe there's also some on Makers Row for sure. So if you're not a member of Makers Row, make sure to do that. And then I'm going to, once again, makersrow.com/V-Mora. If you'd like to reach out to me, I do a complimentary 20-minute strategy session, and you can find me here. Looking for bag makers in the USA. I used to produce in Italy, high quality, US, looking for someone in the States. Thank you. Yes, again, you can reach out to me via Makers Row. You can look on the Makers Row platform, but there are handbag makers, high quality, within the United States. Okay, yes, time flies by. I opened up questions. So I'm going to, okay, thank you guys so much for tuning in today. Stay connected with Makers Row. Put yourself on that wait list for embark.live. And yeah, I hope to see you guys on more Instagram platforms or, you know, via Makers Row. Stay connected, reach out, just hustle, you know, stay inspired. And yeah, this is my, actually, I was gonna say, I have been doing this every Monday at 3 o'clock, but this is my last one. You can view this on Makers Row later. So thank you guys so much. I hope you got something out of today's Instagram Live. Stay connected with Makers Row. I think they're doing more events this week. So it was great to have you. Thank you.